And this was in the morning. She called and said, he's willing to sell it to you without putting it on the market so you don't have competition. By the end of business that day at 5 o'clock, he took our offer and we started the process of the purchase. And it closed on, I want to say, March 13th. It started a couple of years ago. We were looking to find office space for meetings. We were finding that offices cost a lot more for what you're getting for that space. So we decided we'd start looking at houses, and we wanted to find somewhere that we can rent in the Oak Park area. We applied for a couple places and got turned down, and so that was discouraging. We kind of just paused on everything. We didn't have a lot of money at the time either, so it was just hopeful. You know, we wanted to be able to find something. Fast forward to George Floyd. George Floyd was killed, and all of a sudden we started getting a lot of donations. They just started coming in, and that's usually how it happens when someone is killed and it becomes that's when support starts coming in. So we got more donations than we've ever received, and so I was a little bit uncomfortable with it. So for that reason, I wanted to just sit on the money and figure out what we wanted to do to invest in the community or reinvest in our work. A friend of mine said, well, why don't you look at land and build from the ground up? So I said, that's a great idea. We started looking at land, and I spoke with Kimberly. Kimberly gave me a list of lots on Martin Luther King, or parcels on Martin Luther King Boulevard that were not being used, but that were not for sale. And so Victor and the friend that originally said to buy the land, they both were like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna watch, you'll see. And so I was just like, okay, okay.
Well, first it was just the possibility of it being purchased, right? And I think we went through the process of the folks who were thinking about selling it, and us just looking to find a place of respite for the community. Oak Park, it's a place where a lot of us are from. It's a place that we have been working because it had been heavily gentrified. My name is Victor, last name is Brisbane, and I'm from Sacramento, and I'm with BLM Sacramento. I grew up in Oak Park. Like my family was here. I moved back into Oak Park when my grandma became ill. When my grandma passed away, me, my brother, and my sister all moved into one house. And what was once a place in Oak Park for me, wonderful Black community, was super affordable to be able to live in, had changed to where 1, 2, 3, 4 households are living in one house just to try to stay inside of the community. But it was so important to us because we wanted our kids to be able to grow up in the same place that we grew up, in the same fashion that we grew up, in the same, be able to go to the same parks, be a part of that same community. Because it was wonderful, the experience that we did grow up here in Oak Park. Downturn in the economy, couldn't find a job, was homeless myself, and still wouldn't leave Oak Park. Like, it was the idea that this was still community for me. Slept inside of the park at Oak Park. Started to really fight about the issues of gentrification that was happening in Oak Park, how many folks were becoming unhoused in Oak Park based off of the real estate development and the investments that had happened. We started looking for houses, started looking for places that would work. A lot of the prices were out of range. And then we get this call from a real estate company inside of Oak Park that says they know of some land. I've just held the space in my mind and knew that it was something that was going to take fruition, right? I think a lot of people have helped us be able to reach the place of being able to acquire this land. But for me, I think in order for us to be able to truly be liberated and free, we got to feed each other. And so for me, I think, what this land meant for me was the ability to have resources for the community, a place for us to be able to grow food for the community, a space for us to be together, love on each other, and just experience, what we are, which is excellence and joy.
On February 9th, Kimberly called and she's like, I have a man that we sold a parcel to in 2017. It ended up being that this parcel was the very first parcel that I looked at before I even got a list of names of anything. And this was in the morning. She called and said, he's willing to sell it to you without putting it on the market so you don't have competition. And I said, okay, well, we're interested.
When we finally got the news that they were willing to sell, like, it was just overjoyed. And the fact that we were going to be able to build and create this place and watch it materialize was just super exciting.
By the end of business that day at 5 o'clock, he took our offer and we started the process of the purchase. And it closed on, I want to say, March 13th. And so it took a month, but we finally got the purchase, and now we're going to start building on the land.
It was a huge relief, but there was so much excitement in that, because when I think about the history of Oak Park, you know, and Black folks in Oak Park, specifically in Sacramento, you had the Black Panther Party, which was located here. They turned that into a post office, right? And so the idea of BLM being able to have that same type of resource, that legacy, being installed back inside of Oak Park, there's no way of being able to express what that emotion feels like, right? Like something in a way that they thought they had taken away from us years later, we're rebuilding back to the same community. For me, this, like, getting this land, being able to build on it is like a homecoming. Not just a homecoming for me, but I think a homecoming for a lot of Black folks in the community, right? To be able to have that resource and to know that, like, that's legacy building.
The whole month of June, there were a lot of deaths of our youth throughout Sacramento. In particular, there was quite a few deaths in Oak Park, in the area that we wanted to purchase the land in. Squeeze, his death, who is the son of somebody I grew up with, and he's really well known in the community. That inspired us to create a coalition called Our Streets Coalition, to try to figure out a way to minimize or end the intra-community violence and people killing each other, find out what we need, find out what needs to happen for this to stop. When it comes to fighting the state versus fighting the problems that our communities face, which are all under the same umbrella of white supremacy, but it's a different fight. Squeeze was one of the first people that inspired it, but then Brandon Pickett, his artist name is N.A.M.E.L.E.S.S. He's from Oak Park. He claims 12th Avenue. He came into this room. He's a super masculine person, you know, super street. And he sat in here and he cried, like really big tears, cried. Because he said that people keep getting killed that he knows and loves, and he's scared to walk down the street. He's just now starting to turn his life around. I made a post on Black Lives Matter Sacramento asking the community, what resource do you have to offer the community? We got a really large response. It was so large to where we decided to document all of the responses. We wanted everybody's information, exactly what they had to offer. We had people from every walk of life offering their resources. Every single thing that you could think of, somebody offered that resource. And so we have this list now, like 97 people that want to offer. Some of them have one resource to offer, some of them like 10. Some people just want to watch babies or cook for people. Some people want to do landscaping or provide surgery services. I mean, we have every single thing on that list. And so we took that list and we're trying to figure out how do we get these resources into the community. We need space for that. So we decided that this building that we build is going to be a home. It's going to look like a house, but it's also going to funnel resources into the community. We're trying to, at this point, purchase a parcel of land that's directly connected to the back of it, so that we can expand and have a garden, so that we can grow food and nuts and vegetables and trees and provide all of these things for the community. That's where we're at right now. I'm super excited. I'm ready for this to just happen already. I'm impatient. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So what we're asking folks to do today is to donate. We're kicking off this fundraiser so that we can get this house built, so that we can get these resources into our communities as soon as possible, because we needed them yesterday. Also so we can start growing food for this community. If you don't have a lot of money to donate, that's fine. A small donation is helpful. A large donation is helpful. If you want to donate on a consistent basis, there is an option to do monthly donations. But please feel free to donate. And if you are unable to donate, please share or invite people to this fundraiser.
What's up, Tanya?
Hey, what's up, T? Where you at?
At the big park, you know, with the kids, ladies chilling. It's a nice day.
Okay. Guess what?
What? What's up?
We just got the land.
Wait, what?
She lying.